Rick obviously has been accountable nightly with me for I don't know how long, Rick, now, since you became high six. I get the whole story plus. But last night what I got was you hit your 10th deal and you're over 800 grand, approaching $1 million. Do you have, I know you have a spreadsheet. So if you have it, let's share it. And if you don't, let's summarize it. Please, guys, you don't have to have this, but this is a nice master deal sheet for him. That's really cool.
Yeah, I've got 2 right now where the purchase and sales agreements are out there, but both of them look good. One of them in Putney, Vermont, the seller isn't concerned what the attorney thinks. He just wants to know we have to do a contract for deed. So it's just the mechanics of it.
Side note, did you get a hold of my attorney that I gave you?
He called me today and he said he's got an attorney who can do it. So
sweet.
I expect that one to come through pretty quick. So
Great.
The 2 highlighted in yellow are the 2 that are pending right now. I have one that didn't sell. It was an AO. The seller just wanted too much for the property and he had fired his previous realtors. So he was just very impatient. But other than that, I have the ones in blue are closed out, payday 3s on it, or the one AO was an AO, and that's just one payday.
This is sweet. So, okay, I see it. Payday 1s, 2s, and 3s, and then total. Got it.
Yeah.
Average.
821, 291 for the 10.
And the average was higher, but you had early cash outs actually, which is a good problem to have.
Yeah, and actually the ones that brought the payday ones down were there were a couple that were $15,000 assignment fees that otherwise I would have lost the deals, but we managed to save them.
Nobody's crying for you to get a $20 grand check. Nobody on here is crying for you.
No, the AO that I've got right now, the seller was going to pull it for health reasons and security reasons. And I just happened to have a buyer that went through and said she wanted it. So I called her and she said, well, I can pay cash for it. So it's just going to be a straight cash deal, but I'm facilitating everything. So I'll get an assignment fee out of it.
There's a really cool mix here. I would hope there's some questions here. I just have a couple comments. First of all, it reminds me of 2013 when I started, because I did a similar spreadsheet when it started getting towards $1 million. It's an eye opener, right, Rick? I mean, it's really cool to see this portfolio, and you get a nice mix here of AO, short-term, long-term. So my only comment on this is, and this was my aha when I had my first run, and that is it's a different type and quality of income, period. I mean, Rick, you were used to a nice, strong 6-figure job for 30 years. This is a different quality income. So I don't know if you have any comments or people have questions on this.
There's also quite a range of seller types: FSBO, search engine optimization.
Oh yeah.
Fired, canceled. Like you've got everything in there too.
Yeah, and you know,
say the income, getting that every 2 weeks, getting a paycheck. This here, it's just I know because the deals come and there's no question they're going to come. It's just a matter of me working it. So it's just stacking the deals, and honestly, they manifest themselves.
That's a different Rick than 2022. I'll tell you that statement that he just made. Seriously, that's good growth. It's awesome. You expect it now. It's just, can I go do the numbers?
What I'm noticing too is payday 1s, total 302, right?
Yep.
I mean, that to me, and you've been since 822, so it's $100,000 a year.
Just on ones. Good point. Here's another interesting fact. 3,500, is that your net on payday 2?
3,500
monthly?
15,000.
No, average. Yeah. Is that total average right now on the board?
I don't see the 15,832.
No, line 13Q.
3,500.
3,590.
3,590. Yeah, that was right now because 3 of them have cashed out. I don't have those any longer, but.
Okay, but let's do this. Before your other 2, let's just call it 400 then, just for the heck of it at one time. You'll get way over that. I remember I was getting up to 20 something grand. for you math wizards, type in your calculator what you need conservatively, not at risk, conservatively, like in a bank account. What do you need in a bank account to kick out $2,500 a month passively just on his twos? I would think that's 30, so 300, probably 600 grand ish. So here's the question, guys. This is a good comparison of quality of income. I'm only talking about payday twos. Could we all go out in the next year or two and save 600 grand? I don't know the answer. Some of you might say, yep, I can do that. If you can't, can you learn how to do what Rick did and put the exact same equivalent of deals on the board to kick you out that without putting 600 grand in the bank? And oh, by the way, there's over 600 in payday ones and twos. So, I mean, ones and threes. So pretty cool, Rick. That's, I appreciate you sharing. Any questions while he has this up, guys? Well, now it's down, but any questions for him?
Yeah, I had a question.
Sure.
Yeah, I was looking at a spreadsheet. I apologize if you mentioned it and I didn't hear, but I didn't see any activity for the entire year of 2023. Was said like you just were just living off of the previous year's success, so you took a year off? Or...
He got it sold.
Oh,
He got it sold. Line
yeah.
out. Line out.
And 2023, that's kind of odd.
Well, those are
Because
in line H. That's an appointment. Now that Tim asked that, I'm kind of following. So, column H is an appointment date.
Yep.
Okay. Contract sent. Sold. You had one sold in 23. When did you leave your job?
And 23, April of 23.
Okay. You got a sold right there. How much was that? Payday one? 40 grand?
Yeah,
35 grand?
35 grand.
Okay. Cool. So 35 grand, which kicked in 600 a month. Okay.
Yeah,
So-
I was wondering if there was like if you took a year off or if you just were trying for a whole year and didn't get many deals, because it seems like you got maybe 5 in 2022.
Yeah, some of them are
24.
early 2024, so it's the results of efforts during 2023.
Yeah. Yep.
And I was spending more time coaching than doing my own deals.
Until we spanked him and said, you're supposed to do both. Then 24, look what happened.
Yeah. Okay, I'm trying to get some data as far as what's the average amount of time, how many deals can you get a year, or how many deals can you get in 6 months? Just trying to see, what's a good average of how many you can get if you set your goals to a certain number. So this
Everybody's going to be different on this, Tim. And I'm going to give a bunch of no logical order. Let me give you a bunch of comments on this. Good, very good question. So the reason the average days per taken, time to first taken, we call it, and we obsess over these metrics for you guys. The reason it's about 147 or 157 now, I'm close within that range. It used to be 180. Is because we factor in everyone, and you might say, hey guys, I want to get to 1 a month or 2 a month. Can I go fast? Okay. Others might say, hey, given the nature of these street paydays, if I do 3 a year, I'm happy. And they're active and they're engaged with their goals, right? So then the other factor comes in, and you and I haven't spent a lot of time yet. So this is a good example. So I don't know how quick you can go. And I don't think the coaches this early can either. When we get to dive in deeper with some calls and then get you in a boot camp and get to know you better. And it's for everybody. Just because Tim asked this doesn't mean it's not for everybody. Then we can start to say, here's the holes I see, Tim or whoever. Here's the skill sets I see you need to improve. Everybody's different with that. Like I had baggage coming out of the crash that was mental. Chad from Colorado, who has a payday 3 of 60 grand coming up in January, and he's not even in the community here. He has a payday 3 coming up from years ago, before right after his wife passed. Well, that's different baggage. He lost his wife, right? So everybody's pace is different. Can you do 1, 2, 3, whatever a month? Sure, we were up to 10 a month. But your skill set and your mindset and all these other variables are going to play into it. And when we get to know you better, then we can fine tune you. But everybody's different. So sorry I can't pinpoint it, but I hope that helps a little bit, Tim.
Helps a little bit. I was just trying to, see what's possible, given how much time you invest in the business. So for sure, I appreciate it.
Yeah. Have you done, and again, I'm talking to everybody, but Tim happens to be giving good examples. Have you done a hardcore strategy session yet and done all the metrics, Tim? I just don't know what stage you're at with a coach.
I don't think so. I've done that yet. No.
Okay. So when you do your metrics, they'll help you equate your goal to how fast or slow to how many hours you have, and make sure those three things are lined up, because sometimes they're out of sync and you wouldn't know it. And then we'll get you going on that track, and then 6 months later we'll look and say, did we hit it? Why or why not? Where are the holes? So this is a kind of a process. It's like you regroup every 3 to 6 months and check it.
Yeah, Tim, the one thing I'll throw in there is it took me 15 months to get my first deal. And then over a matter of just a few months, I had like 4 more deals. I had 4 deals. So it's building your pipeline. There's a lot of things that come into play, like mindset.
Pipeline and mindset.
100%. Yeah, you're right about that.
Looks like we do have some questions. Is that related to Rick, Hitta, and Jeremiah?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just curious what his matrix looks like. If they're close to your generic matrix, or like kind of how it looks like for Rick.
I guarantee he knows them with his spreadsheet. What do you got, Rick, for metrics?
For metrics?
Yeah,
my
like
metrics.
leads to taken or whatever you have, however you track it.
Yeah, my VAs do almost all of my initial calls now, because I get 2 VAs at 15 hours each a week, and they do their live to leads ratio is between 30 and 47%.
Lag to lead, okay.
They have a really good conversion ratio.
And then lead to appointment and lead to taken. You know that?
No, I don't off the top of my head. I have to pull up the spreadsheet.
Okay, it'd be cool to see, because the stage you're at, lead to taken, lead to sold. I'd love to see that and hear that after the holiday. If you could yank that, no pressure, but do some homework over the holiday, will you? No slacking.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, good deal. Thank you. Good question.
I'll do that after turkey. I'll do it after turkey dinner.
Okay. Jeremiah.
Yeah, I was just curious, Rick, the type of deals that seemed to come first for you, and I think it was just some appointments came first, and then you actually got the takens later, so it's hard to see which ones came first. But like, I know for Chris, one of his kind of parts of his story was a lot of AOs initially, but I was just curious for you, like which type of deals made the most sense, especially when your skill set or maybe your mindset wasn't as mature as it is now.
My first one, I went with a lease purchase, not knowing any better, because I'd rather own the property. So then I pivoted from lease purchase to, if there's a mortgage, it's going to be a sub 2, and if there's equity, it'll be a hybrid sub 2 owner finance or a straight owner finance. I'll only go with an AO as a last resort, and I've got a couple of those.
Okay, so you didn't start out doing AOs, you jumped right in with like a lease purchase or some of the other ones.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, here's the interesting thing, guys, and I have someone sitting here waiting for me. That's what I did because that's what I knew, right? My knowledge wasn't broad enough. So in hindsight, when someone says to me in this community, hey, I'm gonna do what you do, I'm gonna start with AOs, I remind them all an AO is payday 1 of a sandwich lease or any other deal, right? It's all it is. So you might as well get your one and keep going. That was just my comfort zone, and it was what I knew how to do quickly. But the second I learned, then I did my first sandwich in it was September or October of 13, and that house is on the market right now. We still own it because we converted it to a sub 2 later on. So yeah, try to own if you can.